Hello everyone, welcome to week 11 BCOM 3113. We are in the home stretch for sure now. Apologize for a late upload of this week's update video. Also on my low resolution laptop camera here, so bear with me. But I want to point out one important element that I've added this week. We have that big assignment due, your job package assignment, 15% of your course grade. So let's just dive in real quick and look. I've uploaded underneath course content for week 11. Underneath the Dropbox folders, I've uploaded some rubrics. So remember, you have 3 separate documents. Each one's worth 50 points. And you actually have 4 Dropbox folders here. So the job announcement, that is supposed to be you copying, pasting, or PDFing the actual job listing, right? So that when we grade this thing, if the job listing has disappeared, we want to make sure that we can still see it. So keep that in mind. You got to have that uploaded, even though there's not going to be, your grade overall will be lowered because of that. So very, very key that you upload to each of these 4 Dropboxes. But anyway, let's look at these rubrics real quickly. This gives you a good idea of what we're looking for, all right? So you've got your resume rubric. It's got 5 categories. Each one's worth 10 points. So you can tell here there's very little room for error, right? Grammar, mechanics, format, readability. So here it's like format. It says, a perfect balance of text and white space. So if you have one mistake on there in terms of formatting, parallel headings are missing or something like that, it's going to drop you from your exceptional down to your above average. Or, so one little mistake here and there might not be a big deal, but these things add up fast and it can really affect your final grade. And that's for good reason, right? These are the most important documents you need to know how to make in your professional life. So the standards are very, very high. Okay, so keep that in mind. If we look here, one of the things that I want to point out that we'll be looking for when we grade is that your action verbs are varied, right? You don't have any repeats, and that they match all the skills listed in the job listing itself. Very, very important, right? So if they're looking for someone with leadership skills, you go to that handout and the Career Services handout, or you go to Chapter 15 and look in that list of action verbs that are underneath that particular skill that they want. In terms of being specific, that whole idea of showing and telling, you have to use quantification. You also have to render your experience as accomplishments instead of just a list of duties. Very, very important. If we go and quickly look at the cover letter, it's the same thing. One thing I want to point out to you on the cover letter rubric is that obviously the opening is from Chapter 15, and that is this. I've had some questions about this. That's the section from Chapter 15 that actually talks about doing it for an unsolicited cover letter. I want you to do it for a solicited letter, which is what this is, right? So there was some confusion there. So the other thing is, if you look here, the you viewpoint is huge. I talk about that in the lecture video. But beyond that, storytelling, very, very important. It says to tell 1 or 2 detailed stories relating your experience. It's the same type of skill that you need in an interview, basically, but we're going to be doing it in a written form, right? So, in the interview, they'll say, tell me about a time when you encountered a challenge and how you overcame it. So you just tell a story. Oh, this one time I was at work, and et cetera, et cetera. So that's the thing. On a cover letter, fight the urge, especially if you don't have any experience with it, fight the urge to write these long, drawn-out laundry list of all these skills that you have, and instead focus on 1 or 2 things with some very well rendered and detailed stories. Well, I hope that helps, and if you have any questions between now and Sunday when your cover letter, resume are due, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'll probably be inundated, especially as the deadline approaches, so you have to be patient, but I will get to all of you as soon as I can. Again, follow these rubrics, and that will ensure your success.